everyone, welcome to Mindful Monday. Today we're looking at a different kind of mind concept, and that is we're looking at mindful mistakes. There are many different ways to make mistakes. An accident is a mistake. A misunderstanding can be considered a mistake. And often, I know when I was going through school, if we made mistakes or if things were wrong, sometimes we got in trouble. Sometimes we were encouraged to try again. It just really depended on who the teacher was, to be honest. But they certainly, I never felt so safe to make a mistake. I always had to be perfect. And if I did have a mistake, if there was a red cross on my page, it would devastate me. Nowadays, there seems to be a much more relaxed attitude towards mistakes. Not relaxed in that we don't worry about them, but we're encouraging them, and we really want kids to embrace making mistakes. And there's a really good reason for that. And that is because when we make a mistake, synapses in our brain, they fire, okay? So they come together and spark. The synapse is an electrical signal, and it moves between parts of the brain where the learning occurs. Now, there's a gentleman, Moser, has done a whole heap of research on this, and his study shows us that we don't even have to be aware of the mistakes we don't even have to be aware that we have made a mistake for that spark to occur. And each time that synapse spark does occur, our brain grows. So, for example, I'm going to read you this quote because it's a lot easier if I just read it straight from the page. I hope that's okay. When teachers ask me how this can be possible, I tell them that the best thinking we have on this now is that the brain sparks and grows when we make a mistake, even if we are not aware of it, because it is a time of struggle. The brain is challenged, and the challenge results in growth. So, I know in my classroom, and I know in many of the classrooms at the little school I work in, we really encourage our kids to make mistakes, and we not encourage them to make them, we celebrate the mistakes they do make, and then we pull them apart and we say, why? What makes you say that? Where did that come from? You might remember in my first What Makes You Say That Wednesday, we spoke about triangles and how I was teaching a girl in year 2 and the triangle was upside down, and she thought that it wasn't a triangle because it was orientated that way. And I was like, well, what makes you say that? And we talked about it and we discussed it, and then we totally deconstructed this mistake and all took away some learning from it. So mistakes help us understand ourselves better. Mistakes make us realize that just because you make a mistake doesn't mean you should stop what you're doing. If anything, it should encourage you to do more. And I, at the beginning of starting these little lessons, I told you I would take some ideas from colleagues of mine who have really good ideas, and teaching's all about sharing. So one of my colleagues had a whole bunch of pipe cleaners, and he wanted to represent the synapses. So each mistake was a synapse, and that synapse was represented by 2 pipe cleaners coming together and attaching. And then someone else would make a mistake. So the brain is growing, basically. And he had this in his classroom. And each time a kid made a mistake, they were encouraged to go up and add a pipe cleaner to continue the growth of the synapses. Now, I promise you, because I've seen it in action, I've done this in my own class, once you start one of these, I'd say definitely for the first hour, possibly for the first day, maybe even for the first week, you will get kids going up to this every 5 minutes to add their mistake, because it's novel, it's fun, it's creative, it's hands-on, they're into it. I'm going to show you one I prepared earlier because this one's not quite working. Okay, so this is your growing brain, all the synapses that have joined together and fired. That concept, the idea of having this in the classroom, something that the kids can add to, I was adding to mine quite a lot, is that by the end of a few weeks or the term or even the year, you can see how big the collective brain has grown, how large it's grown from the mistakes that have been made. And it's up to you. It can be little mistakes, whether it's how you speak, like I'm often tripping up on myself and making mistakes during these little lessons. So I could be adding synapses, or it could be considered a bigger mistake. Maybe it's a social mistake, something that happened in the classroom, in the playground. In any case, this is great for a classroom. I think it's a really lovely visual representation. The trick is, if you do introduce it, if you're going to put up with all the frenzy of it at the beginning, make sure you continue to encourage it, because then it can sometimes be forgotten, left by the wayside, at the back of the room, no one's doing it anymore. The point of it is to keep it going. I would also say, if you have a visual learner, a tactile learner in your home, and you're teaching maybe social skills, life skills, anything really, or you need to introduce a bit of routine, something where you think this might be beneficial, I would recommend having one at home as well. Why not? You can hang off a doorknob. Making mistakes, embrace them, learn from them. They literally, scientifically proven to help your brain grow. So, was I going to say something else? Mistakes help us to understand that our biggest enemy can be ourselves. We learn to reflect on our mistakes, and that is what helps us grow. So, short and sweet, simple one today. Thanks for listening. I'll see you tomorrow for Teaching Moment Tuesday. Please remember to like, share, ask any questions via my Facebook, Instagram or email, and yeah, enjoy. See you later.